Hi, if you're new here, I'm Nutty and I stream almost every day on Twitch. Feel free to come join us. Enjoy the video. So yeah, I'm going free to play myself. There's a lot of discussion about this. I think for this game specifically, there are more content creators than ever that are going free to play as well. And the community in general is also going free to play because it feels like it's a bigger flex to go free to play in this game than other games, if that makes sense. Obviously there are other reasons as well. But if you go free to play in like Genshin or Honkai Star Rail, people will be like, well, Xiangling and Bennett is a thing, like it don't really matter anyway. Or whatever, right? Whereas in Wuthering Waves, it requires like more skill. So I don't know, it sounds kind of like flexy, which doesn't sound nice a lot of the times, but it's almost like, well, people who spend money in this game still die to these bosses, but I'm free to play, and because I dodge so well, I survive and I kill them. And I don't know if that's like the main motivation, but I feel like definitely it's a motivation for a lot of people. Personally, I'm going free to play because I just want to experience something new. I expect the game for a free to play or like just people in general, I expect the difficulty level to be somewhere in between Genshin and Elden Ring. That's my expectations. And I think that's a good difficulty. So I'd like to maintain it at that if possible. And if it ever gets easier, I want it to be because of my skill / like good investment in characters rather than just purely like good investment in characters. Like I want some skill to be a part of it, right? I think that's what a lot of people are hoping for in Wuthering Waves as well. Will you skip story? If it doesn't seem interesting, I will. Don't cancel me. Okay, sure, cancel me, whatever. But like, if it doesn't seem like, bro, like if I want story, I'll watch an anime, you know? Like nowadays, I don't even have time to watch anime. I mean, I do, but like I choose to watch like YouTube like degenerate. But like that's besides the point. I will watch anime if I want a story. Okay, I'm playing the game for the juice, you know. As a free to play, you might think, okay, well, if it's free to play, you have limited resources, and that probably would make people think that okay, I should reroll or I have a higher incentive to reroll. And I think that would make sense. But the way I see it is that it's the whole dopamine efficiency thing again, right? We have less pulls to get the dopamine high with. Therefore, each pull needs to give a dopamine high. And I feel like pulling again and again and again and again and again on different accounts, assuming you get average luck, yeah, if you keep doing that, I feel like the dopamine you get will diminish because you're just like desensitized, right? So for maximum dopamine efficiency as well, I'm not gonna reroll. Sure, I might not get the most optimal characters, but it just depends at that point like how much dopamine you get from being optimal. For me, it's a bit, but it's not that much. And at the end of the day, we also guaranteed a free 5-star, so yeah. I guess the risk with not rerolling is that for the starter banner, the 50 pulls that guarantee you a 5-star, you might get a character that you don't like. I think it's fine. Like for me, I think it's fine if I get like whichever character as long as it's not Ling Yang. And if I get him, I hope I'm wrong. But from his gameplay, he doesn't look satisfying to me. I like weighty feeling attacks, you know. I don't like small like punches and kicks and stuff. And flying in the air sounds cool, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the novelty might wear off quickly. Yeah, and he's nice for a lot of enemies in a small area and the mobility, I feel, but against bosses, I don't know, I don't think those attacks be hurting. They don't look like they're hurting. It's like he's giving them a nice like massage, you know, with like pressure points and whatnot, like bang, 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 bang. What are your thoughts on co-op gameplay on this game compared to other gacha games? As it seems right now, there's a bit more incentive because it is integral to the game systems, right? Because the way you level up in the game is through echoes. And if you think about it, you're limited on the amount of echoes you can get from your world only. If you co-op, you get infinitely more echoes. So there is a very real impact of co-op on the state of your account, if you're willing to put in the time. That incentive alone makes it good. Like other aspects of it are the same compared to games like Genshin. However, when the need for co-op wears off, as in after you get all the echoes you need already, right? And you're just hard capped on stamina, I guess, then I don't know like what we do in co-op, you know? There'll have to be something else at that point for co-op. Kuro already announced rework for Echo acquisition, so co-op may become less appealing, yes. So basically, for those of you who don't know, I heard that Kuro made it easier to get your desired echoes compared to closed beta test 2. And that directly affects the appeal of co-op. Question for free to play, do we need both character and weapon? I think so. I don't know the numbers, very likely. The fact that the weapons on the limited weapon banner have a 100% drop rate guaranteed at 80 pulls. There's no 50-50, no 75-25, anything like that. Guaranteed, the fact that it's guaranteed at least hints to me, makes me feel like it's more necessary. I mean, just look at Genshin and HSR, right? It's way less necessary to have signature weapon in Genshin compared to HSR. If you want to say it's even necessary at all, but I feel like the impact of signature like code in HSR is more than signature weapon in Genshin impact for most characters, on average. And that kind of shows in the drop rates as well. So going by that, if you want to have a bit of cynicism and not just say like, oh, Kuro is a better company and they don't want money or anything, right? I feel like weapons might be more necessary. Also the fact that in PGR, I hear that 5-star weapons are more necessary to make characters work in endgame content. I don't know how good the free-to-play 4-stars are. That's the next question, right? Like, okay, sure, the 5-star weapons are very good, but how good are the free-to-play options, right? I don't know. And probably won't have the answer on day one. Probably would have to go to endgame to actually see. Alien best weapon on beta wasn't her signature. Honestly, I hope they don't do that though. As much as I want the game to be like very good for free-to-plays, they have to make money somehow, right? It's crazy that the battle pass only gives 7 pulls or something I heard. How are they going to make money? Skins, I guess, in the future. That's how PGR makes most of their money. Most of the money is from skins there, right? In most gacha game, money comes from skins. It's just like Genshin and Star Rail just don't like money, I guess. Wait, they don't make money from skins? Have I been misinfoed? I feel like they have good skins, no? I mean, they don't make any money from PGR. Oh, I mean, yeah, but... Okay, at this point, I just want to talk a bit about my mindset going into Wuthering Waves. I already touched on the reasons I'm being F2P and also why I'm not rerolling, but I want to talk more about like where my mind is at going in, right? I think the first and foremost main priority, other than having fun, is to learn more about the game. Just kind of play around and see what I enjoy. Because at the end of the day, it's about what we enjoy, right? So if I enjoy the combat a lot, then maybe I want to pick up a character that I enjoy playing. And it's quite easy because in this game, you can trial every single character from what I know. So you can get a feel of the animations and their playstyle just from the trial alone, which is super good. Also, if I end up not liking the combat as much, and maybe, right, I love the exploration, maybe the exploration is just next level, it's like Genshin but on steroids, then maybe I'll spend more time on that and I won't really need to... I'll still need to build a good team, but I'll feel less incentive to make the best team possible or grind out stats or whatever if I just like completing puzzles or like moving on the map, right? It's a possibility. I've eventually run out of stuff to explore, but the possibility is there. But I think just learning the mechanics, right? Learning like the dodge timings, like learning different enemies, attack patterns, their weaknesses, like learning how to parry as well. I think a lot of the early game for me is just learning. And the pulls and team building and whatever, I feel like it's not as important. I'll leave that for later on when there is less new stuff to experience. Because right now it's such sensory overload in the sense that you're hit with a new game, you're hit with new scenery, you're hit with new music, hit with a new community, and just like everyone's experiencing the same thing at the same time, which like I just want to soak in and experience as a whole. And then after a while, when that kind of dies down or like we're all used to the game, then I'll hone in on my specific account. Although I will do my best to just do everything day one as well, like explore, do the story, kill the mobs, just interact with the game and experience it to its fullest, and I'll put in the hours for it. And in terms of resource leveling and stuff like that, probably gonna just invest into one team for the time being. I know that the endgame content needs multiple teams, but one team is all I'm going to focus on, just creating that one team. And I feel like if you can create one good team, then you know the fundamentals of how to create teams. Therefore, you can just replicate that and create more good teams down the line. So I'm not going to try to focus on 1 and 1. I think 1's a good number. I think the template is usually like 1 DPS, 1 support, and like 1 buffer. I don't know if there are really buffers in this game, because like Verena is a buffer, but she's also a healer, so probably double DPS is the way, right? So I think I'll focus on 2 DPSs to start. But it's really important that I like how they feel. Because I realize for me in combat games, even in turn-based games like Star Rail, where you don't like interact with the characters and enemies in the same way that you do like a action, like non-turn-based game, animations and feel are still super important. And needless to say, like games like Genshin as well, right? So yeah, I'm going in like mostly blind, except for the fundamentals of like the game systems. So I don't know what, I guess what echo I choose really depends on what character I go for, right? Like what character I get as a 5-star maybe. I'm just gonna wait for that and then choose when I get in game. Do we know what all characters we have access to without pulling? Actually we do. Let me pull up my Canva real quick. There you go. Like we're getting this girl from a login event. I think one of them you get from like clearing the abyss up to a certain floor. What's a good no-pull team? I guess a DPS of your choice, right? Whichever DPS. Either Verena or this girl. I guess you're not pulling, then you're getting this girl, right, for free. So is that girl? This girl, whichever DPS, I guess her and her. But she's only free on day 5, so you might have to go like rover her or like her. And then like off-field like damage or whatever. I think this girl is definitely a must if you want like some healing. And then whichever DPS, and then maybe Yang. I think it's like Yang or him, I guess, because they're like the only like 2 off-field kind of characters, or like sub DPS-ish, I feel. And then either one of these 3 for your main DPS. Yeah, either one of these 3 is main, and then I think he buffs electro damage, right? He lets you infuse your attacks with electro. And then she like kind of groups a bit and can do a bit of a damage on her own. That's my thoughts on stuff. I'm just so excited for the game. I hope the gambling... Okay. Time to talk some degenerate stuff. You're probably going to get stoned to death for this. But I hope the gambling is as brutal as Genshin and Star Rail's gambling system. Even a bit more brutal, I don't mind. Even if it's worse than Genshin and Star Rail gambling system, aka the artifact relic ecosystem, I don't mind. I personally need that shit. So, like, sure, you're guaranteed the main stats anyway. Like, we're given, like, Echo main stats for free anyway. Because we can farm as much as we want and we're basically guaranteed whatever main stat we want. So, to balance it out, make the substats really hard to get right. I don't know what system they're using. If they're using Genshin and Star Rail system, then I guess it's like kind of the same. Like 4 stats and then it's like 25% chance. But like, please make it feel more degenerate. Please make it harder to finally get a good piece. I beg you. I beg you. But even if it's not gonna happen that way, at least we get shinies, right? So I can like aim for a god shiny piece, even if the rolling is easy or whatever. RNG moment, I need my daily dopamine. I feel like if it's too easy, it's not gonna do it for me. I've built out such a tolerance that I need the strongest kick of it, you know? It's like people who drink like 1 cup of coffee to drink 2 cups of coffee to drink like 3 cups of coffee, and now you need to drink like 3 espresso shots. That's me right now. 7 espresso shots. Tons of coffee is harmful, yeah. As well as tons of gambling as well. And that's the video. If you like what you see, feel free to come join us on twitch.tv/nutty, link in the description. Hope you have a wonderful one. Bye bye.